There is one trait that is common to all humans: laziness. Human beings are inherently lazy. It's a universal truth, and you probably already knew that, but what you probably didn't know is that successful people are also lazy. I'd say they're even lazier than most of us. They don't want to have to work very hard, they usually work very little, but somehow they end up having more money and success than most people. How is that possible? Well, one of the reasons is that these people understand the 80-by-20 rule, and they apply it to every aspect of their lives. This rule was discovered by the Italian economist Vilfredo Pareto and is therefore called the Pareto principle, or the 80-by-20 rule. According to this rule, 80% of the results come from 20% of the activities we do. Have you noticed that 80% of the time you use 20% of the space you have in your apartment? That 80% of the time you wear 20% of the clothes you have, and 80% of your income comes from 20% of your clients. Of course, this rate can change in different situations. It could be 75-by-25 or 90-by-10, but what remains true is that a small percentage always produces the greatest result. We can apply the 80-by-20 rule to almost every aspect of our lives. For example, if you have a list of 10 tasks to accomplish today, then 2 of those tasks will produce greater results than the remaining 8 tasks put together. The sad thing is that many of us procrastinate on precisely these 2 tasks that are the most valuable and end up getting busy with the 8 least important tasks, which contribute very little or nothing. Take a sheet of paper, write down 10 tasks, then ask yourself, if I could accomplish just one of the tasks on the list today, which task would have the greatest positive impact? Then choose the second most important task. After completing this exercise, you will have determined the most important 20% that brought 80% of the results. You can do the same exercise with your goals too. Let's see more examples of how the 80-by-20 rule can be useful in other aspects of your life. Applying the 80-by-20 rule in business, if you're starting a new business or creating a new product, there are only a few activities that are very important, such as validating demand and making sales. But do you know what most people do? They spend days trying to find a name for their company and more days designing a logo. They spend weeks trying to find a space to be the ideal office. They spend months on packaging design that makes no difference, and the client probably won't even see it. In other words, people invest 80% of their time in activities that have very little value. Let me give you another example. Let's say you're tutoring children and helping them with their homework. At the moment, there are 4 families who want to hire you, 3 of whom have 1 child each, and 1 of whom has 3 children. If you apply the Pareto principle, then you should say no to the families that have 1 child each and only work with the families that have 3 children. After all, it doesn't matter if there are 3 children or 1 child, you'll still spend the same amount of time. It makes sense to leave out the families that only have 1 child. You're probably thinking, okay, but I have time, so why can't I work with the other 3 children as well? Yes, you have time. But instead of working with 1 student at a time, you can start looking for other families with 3 children. It might be a bit hard to find, but guess what? You'll have time. Since you said no to those 3 parents, applying the 80-by-20 principle to saving money and paying off debts. Instead of focusing on saving $3 here and there by making small cuts in things you love, why don't you focus on cutting spending on big expenses, like negotiating your rent, or negotiating car insurance, bank fees, and so on? Another example is paying off debts. Housing is the biggest purchase many people will make in their lifetime, and by focusing on this expense alone, you can save thousands of dollars and pay off your debts quickly. For example, let's say your mortgage is for $1,200 a month. If you pay an extra $100 every month, that's $1,300. Well, then you'll reduce your mortgage term from 30 years to 25 years. Not only will you pay off your mortgage 5 years early, you'll also save thousands of dollars in interest. Applying the 80-by-20 rule to dieting, I've seen people become slaves to their calorie counts, agonizing over every bite, weighing every small piece of food, spending 20 minutes in the supermarket reading the labels of 2 identical products, trying to decide whether the 5 calories saved here or there are worth it. This is not an effective use of time. Here are some examples where there are bigger gains. Leave out the liquid calories. Instead of suffering from foods that contain few calories but taste bad, make just one change. Commit to no longer consuming soft drinks and liquid calories. Once you've made this change, you'll be motivated to cut out other things too. Make it a rule to eat fruit every time you eat a meal. Do intense physical exercise involving large muscle groups such as the legs. Sometimes people who seem to be busy all day end up achieving very little because they are working on activities of little or no value. The most valuable tasks you can do on a daily basis are often the most difficult and complex, but the rewards for completing them can be enormous. They have the power to change your entire future. So before you start work, always ask yourself the following question. Is this task in the top 20% of my activities or in the 80% that doesn't matter? And always resist the temptation to get rid of the small tasks first. This thinking kills all your productivity. We get so caught up in small things, and the small things multiply. And at the end of the day, you will have gotten nowhere if you decide to start the day working on tasks that have little value. Hi, this is another video from the channel Be a Better Person. If you really like this video, don't forget to hit the like button. And of course, don't forget to subscribe to receive more inspiring videos every week. Thanks again for watching, and see you soon, hugs.